Imagine this. You've waited years. You've done everything right. You married someone you love. You filed your paperwork. You paid the fees. You answered every question honestly. And then, just days before your green card interview, you get a notice. Not a denial, not yet, but a letter saying your marriage is being investigated, your identity is being questioned, and now, starting in 2026, USCIS is rolling out a new face verification system that could change everything about how they confirm who you really are and whether your marriage is real. And if you think this doesn't affect you because you already have your green card or you're just applying for a visa, listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you could change your life, your future, and your ability to stay in the United States legally, or at all. This is not fear-mongering. This is not speculation. This is real. This is urgent. And if you care about your immigration status, if you care about your family, if you care about your future in this country, you need to hear this. I'm James, your trusted immigration expert from Immigration News Today, and today we're talking about a major new development that's coming in 2026, a new face verification system for marriage-based green card applications, and how it ties into the broader, stricter immigration enforcement environment we're seeing under a potential return to Trump-era USCIS policies. This isn't just about technology. This is about trust. This is about how the U.S. government decides who gets to stay and who doesn't. Let me be clear. USCIS has always taken marriage fraud extremely seriously. In fact, according to their own reports, about 10% of all marriage-based green card applications are suspected of fraud, and they investigate thousands of those cases every year. But now, with new artificial intelligence tools, facial recognition software, and biometric identity verification systems being rolled out as early as next year, the way they confirm your identity and the authenticity of your relationship is about to get a whole lot more intense. And if you're not prepared, if you're not paying attention, if you make even one small mistake, you could be denied. You could be flagged. You could be denied entry, denied a green card, or worse, you could be placed in removal proceedings. Now, let's break this down, because you need to understand exactly what's happening, why it matters, and what you can do right now to protect yourself and your loved ones. First, what is this new face verification system? Well, according to internal USCIS memos and recent statements from Department of Homeland Security officials, USCIS is preparing to implement advanced biometric identity verification tools, including facial recognition and live video interviews, as part of the standard process for marriage-based green card applications, especially for those applying from within the United States using Form I-485. The application to adjust status. This means that when you go for your green card interview, or even before that, they may ask you to verify your identity using your photo, your passport, your previous visa photos, or even through a live video call where they match your face in real time to the documents you submitted. And here's the part that should worry you. This system is designed to detect inconsistencies. If your face doesn't match the photo on your passport, your visa, or your previous USCIS submissions, they're going to ask questions. If there's a mismatch between who you say you are and the digital identity they've built from your previous interactions with the U.S. government, you could be delayed, flagged for fraud, or even denied. And if you've ever used a fake photo, submitted someone else's documents, or worked with an unethical attorney or notario, this new system is going to catch it. It's not perfect yet, but it's getting there. Fast. Now, why is this happening now? Because the U.S. government, under increasing political and public pressure to crack down on immigration fraud, especially marriage fraud, is ramping up its enforcement. We've already seen a dramatic shift in how USCIS handles marriage-based cases. Just in the last few years, we've had more requests for evidence, RFEs, more interviews required even for straightforward cases, and a much higher level of scrutiny on things like joint bank accounts, lease agreements, and even social media activity. And now, with the 2026 rollout of this face verification system, they're taking things to a whole new level. Let me give you a real example. A client of mine, let's call her Maria, applied for a marriage green card with her U.S. citizen husband. They'd been together for 5 years, were legally married, had a child together, and had all the documents to prove their relationship was real. But when she went for her interview, USCIS asked her to verify her identity using a new biometric tool. And the system flagged her because the photo on her old B2 tourist visa didn't quite match her current appearance. She was questioned for over an hour. They asked her about her wedding, her daily life, even the smallest details about her husband's family. Thankfully, she had all her documents in order. She stayed calm, and she was eventually approved. But not everyone is so lucky. And this is just the beginning. Starting in 2026, this system will be mandatory for most adjustment of status applicants, especially those applying for marriage-based green cards. That means if you're filing Form I-485, if you're married to a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, and you're hoping to get your green card here in the United States, you need to be ready. You need to make sure your photos are consistent. You need to make sure your identity documents are up to date. You need to make sure that every single thing you submit matches across the board. Because if it doesn't, you're going to have a problem. But it's not just about the face verification system. Let's talk about the bigger picture, because there are so many other risks, so many other deadlines, so many other mistakes that people are making right now that could jeopardize their entire immigration process. First, let's talk about RFEs and NOIDs, requests for evidence and notices of intent to deny. These are letters that USCIS sends when they're not satisfied with your application. Maybe your income isn't high enough to sponsor your spouse. Maybe your joint bank account is too new. Maybe your lease doesn't have both names on it. Maybe your photos don't look like you. These letters are not a rejection, but if you don't respond correctly, if you don't provide the right documents, if you miss the deadline, which is usually just 30 or 60 days, they will deny your case. And once it's denied, you could be put into removal proceedings. That's how serious this is. And here's another thing. Biometrics appointments are mandatory. If you're applying for a green card, a visa, or even just an extension of your status, you must attend your biometrics appointment. If you miss it, USCIS will deny your application. No exceptions. And yet, every single week, I get messages from people who missed their appointment because they forgot, because they moved, because they didn't check their mail. Don't let that be you. Go to your appointment. Bring your ID. Be on time. It's that simple. Now, let's talk about travel risks. If you're applying for a green card and you leave the United States without advance parole, you could abandon your application. That's right. Just leaving the country, even for a family emergency, even for a job opportunity, could result in your green card process being canceled. And if you try to re-enter the U.S. without the proper documentation, you could be denied entry, detained, or even deported. Advance parole is not optional. If you're in the middle of your green card process and you need to travel, you must apply for advance parole and wait for approval before you leave. Period. And then there's the public charge rule. Yes, it's still in effect. Yes, it still matters. If USCIS believes that you're likely to become a public charge, someone who will rely on government benefits like food stamps, Medicaid, or housing assistance, they can deny your green card application. That's why it's so important to show that you have financial stability, that you have a sponsor with adequate income, and that you're not relying on public benefits. Even if you've used benefits in the past, you need to disclose that. Lying on your application is considered fraud, and fraud can get you permanently barred from the United States. Now, I know this is a lot. I know it's overwhelming. I know you're scared, and you should be careful. You should be cautious, but you should also know that you're not alone. There are steps you can take. There are ways to protect yourself. And the most important step you can take right now is this. Stay informed. Watch this channel. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. Because the immigration landscape is changing every single day. And if you're not paying attention, you could miss something critical. Something that could cost you your green card, your visa, or even your ability to stay in this country. So, what do you need to do right now? First, if you've applied for a marriage-based green card, or you're planning to, check your case status online immediately. Go to the official USCIS website, enter your receipt number, and see where your case stands. If it's been pending for too long, if you haven't heard anything in months, you may need to file an inquiry or request an update. Don't assume everything is fine just because you haven't heard anything. Follow up. Be proactive. Second, gather all your documents. Make sure you have your marriage certificate, your joint bank statements, your lease or mortgage, your utility bills, your photos, your travel records, and anything else that proves your relationship is real. Organize them. Keep copies. Be ready for anything. Third, attend all your appointments, biometrics, interviews, check-ins. Don't miss them. Don't delay them. If you're asked to come in, show up. If you're asked to submit something, do it on time. If you're not sure what to do, consult an experienced immigration attorney, or at the very least, reach out to a trusted, accredited representative. Don't rely on notarios. Don't trust random people online. Get professional help if you need it. And finally, don't panic. I know it feels like the walls are closing in. I know it feels like everything is at risk. But the truth is, millions of people have gone through this process successfully. Millions of people have achieved their dreams of becoming permanent residents, of becoming citizens, of building a life in the United States. And you can too, but only if you stay informed, only if you take action, only if you do it the right way. So if you found this video helpful, if you learned something new, if you're feeling more prepared, more confident, more in control, then please do me a favor. Like this video. Subscribe to Immigration News Today. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update, and leave a comment below with your questions, your concerns, or the immigration topic you want us to cover next. Because the fight for the American dream is not over, and if you're watching this, if you're working toward a green card, if you're trying to bring your family together, if you're hoping for a better future, then you deserve to know what's happening. You deserve to be prepared, and you deserve to succeed. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next video.